Moving to the NFL now, former Daphne High School star Michael Pierce has called it a career. The defensive lineman announced his retirement after 9 seasons in the league. Pierce played with the Baltimore Ravens and Minnesota Vikings. He recorded more than 230 tackles with 9 sacks and 3 forced fumbles. However, before he was on the biggest stage in the sport, Pierce was a dominant force for the Daphne Trojans defense. He led Daphne to the 2010 state championship, earning MVP honors in that game played at Auburn. Pierce went on to star at Samford before his time in the league. He was quick to give credit to those who helped make it all possible.
Baltimore Ravens defensive tackle Michael Pierce has made a stunning announcement that has sent ripples through the NFL community. On March 12, 2025, Pierce revealed his decision to retire from professional football after 9 seasons in the league. The 32-year-old veteran made this unexpected announcement during an appearance on the Sports Spectrum podcast. Pierce said,
All right, thank you. Thank you guys for having me, man. After 9 seasons, after much prayer, talking to my family, just going through the grind, man, and just being satisfied where I am. Looking forward to doing other things in life. I just decided to call it a career. So it's been a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful 9 years. I've had so many people help me along the way. I'd like to thank a few people personally.
This announcement comes as a surprise to many, especially considering Pierce was still under contract with the Ravens. He was scheduled to make $1.255 million in the final season of his 2-year, $7.5 million deal. Over his 9-year NFL career, Pierce earned more than $27 million, not bad for a player who entered the league as an undrafted free agent. Pierce's journey to NFL success is nothing short of remarkable. After going undrafted out of Samford University in 2016, he signed with the Ravens and quickly established himself as a formidable presence on their defensive line. Despite not being selected in the draft, Pierce managed to crack the 53-man roster after making a significant impression during the preseason, including a highlight play where he recovered a fumble for a touchdown. During his 9 seasons in the NFL, Pierce spent 7 with the Baltimore Ravens across 2 separate stints. He also played for the Minnesota Vikings for 2 seasons, although he opted out of the 2020 campaign due to COVID-19 concerns. Throughout his career, Pierce appeared in 99 games, recording 238 tackles, 9.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and 6 fumble recoveries. What made Pierce particularly valuable to the Ravens was his elite run-stopping ability. With him anchoring the defensive line, Baltimore finished in the top 5 against the run in 5 of his 7 seasons with the team. Most impressively, the Ravens ranked first in run defense last season, allowing just 80.1 yards per game on the ground. In an incredible twist of fate, Pierce's NFL career concluded with a play that perfectly encapsulated his journey. In his final regular season game against the Cleveland Browns, Pierce dropped into coverage and intercepted quarterback Bailey Zappi. At 355 pounds, he became the heaviest NFL player to record an interception in at least 25 years, according to ESPN research.
Couple times for the Browns. Zappi. Oh, big fella touchdown. My goodness. Michael Pierce.
Don't kneel down, Big Pierce.
What are you doing?
Don't kneel down.
I was about to go crazy as a 365-pounder.
After making the interception, Pierce immediately slid to the ground despite having open field ahead of him. When asked about this decision later, he provided a humorous explanation. "I don't want to end up as a meme on Instagram with my wife and everybody laughing at me. We did the right thing, and we got down and kept it moving." The moment instantly became a fan favorite, with Pierce being mobbed by his jubilant teammates on the field. It was a fitting final regular season play for a player who had built his career on hard work, determination, and a team-first mentality.
It's been an interesting week for sure.
Michael Pierce is the new ball hawk of the Baltimore Ravens.
The athletic ability.
Big Phil's got some hands.
He's got to be like 3 in our DB room at least.
I'm still shocked by that play.
When the call came in, it's a spot drop. You kind of want to eliminate crossers.
"I was shocked myself, bro. I'm not going to lie to you," Pierce later said about the interception, showcasing his humble nature even in a moment of personal triumph. During his retirement announcement, Pierce was reflective about his journey and expressed gratitude to those who had supported him along the way. He said,
9 years, I've had so many people help me along the way. I'd like to thank a few people personally. Obviously, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ first and foremost.
Faith has always played a significant role in Pierce's life. Growing up as a pastor's kid in Alabama, he spent hours in church each Sunday. However, he acknowledged the challenges that came with those expectations. He said, "To the PKs, there's something I had to learn. You cannot get by on your parents' faith. You cannot get by on your parents' faith. I had to learn that in college when I got myself into a situation. I wasn't playing and all this stuff, and my life just was a mess. And I ended up transferring to Samford from Tulane. I had to learn faith for myself, not through ritual, not through anything else, but through my relationship."
To the PKs, there's something I had to learn. You cannot get by on your parents' faith. You cannot get by on your parents' faith. I had to learn that in college when I got myself into a situation. I wasn't playing and all this stuff, and my life just was a mess. And I ended up transferring to Samford from Tulane and all this other stuff. I had to learn faith for myself, not through ritual, not through anything else, but through my own relationship. So that's something that was very important that just stuck in my brain. I need to say that.
That was good. That's good.
Pierce rededicated his life to Christ and was baptized in 2020, further cementing the importance of faith in his personal journey. As for what's next, Pierce has already begun planning his post-NFL life. He enjoys art and gardening and plans to enter the real estate business with family members. He also intends to dedicate time to ministry work with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes and ransom a Christian campus ministry that originated at Samford University and has expanded to various universities in the southeastern United States.
I've just been able to do more than, I guess what you say, exceedingly more than abundantly more than you can ever think or imagine. Yeah. And that's just my story. And like I said, people may not feel that way, but the longer you get to know me and sit here, like, I'm sure you could see exactly how God's handprint has guided me to this point. And then I'm sure he's going to send me somewhere else where I can use, his voice and his reason and his grace to magnify his presence in my life and in others as well. So
Pierce's retirement will have financial implications for the Ravens. According to Russell Street Report's Brian McFarland, Baltimore has decisions to make regarding how they process Pierce's retirement in terms of his contract. McFarland explained, if they process Pierce's retirement before June 1st, there will be a cap savings of $666,000 with dead money of $2,001,000 remaining on the cap. If they wait until after June 1st, it will be a savings of $2 million in 2025, with dead money of $667,000 in 2025 and $1.334 million in 2026. Pierce's departure also creates a void on the Ravens' defensive line. Last season, Travis Jones began taking over a larger share of the snap counts, with Pierce's playing time decreasing to a career-low 32% of defensive snaps. Currently, the Ravens have Nnamdi Madubuike and C.J. Ravenel at defensive tackle, as well as Travis Jones and Basil Okoye at nose tackle. Pierce's teammates and colleagues have already begun sharing tributes following his retirement announcement. Kyle Van Noy tweeted, "Hell yeah, MP love brother," while former Raven Pat Ricard wrote, "The real juggernaut. Congrats on an amazing career. Showing myself and other UDFA that it is possible." These reactions highlight the respect Pierce commanded in the locker room, where he was known as a positive presence and fan favorite. He formed a particularly close bond with fellow defensive lineman Brent Urban, with the duo being nicknamed the Fun Bunch by fans and teammates alike. In conjunction with his retirement announcement, Pierce shared a personal message titled A 251 Love Story, in which he reflected on his journey and expressed gratitude to those who had supported him throughout his career. The message read, "God, none of this is possible without your presence, guidance, and covering through my life." He went on to talk about growing up in Mobile, Alabama, the home of the Senior Bowl. "As a youth, I remember my parents checking me out of school to go get autographs from all the legendary players coming into town to set themselves up for the upcoming draft. It was like Christmas for me." Pierce also discussed the challenge of growing up in the shadow of his father, Michael Pierce Sr., who had been a standout football player himself. "My father won a state title for his local high school and went on to break records at Tulane University. Down in New Orleans, Louisiana, played in the Senior Bowl and received a free agent offer from the Philadelphia Eagles. I was constantly told I would never be as good as my dad. That served as motivation. as I continued to grow older and wanted to make a name for myself. In his message, Pierce thanked numerous individuals who had impacted his career, including his parents, his wife Erica, Ravens executives Ozzie Newsome and Eric DeCosta, head coach John Harbaugh, and several teammates who had mentored him early in his career, including Brandon Williams, Terrell Suggs, and Lawrence Guy.
Major move by the Houston Texans, reportedly. I'm Jason Bristol here in the KHO You Live in newsroom, here to talk about what is just now transpiring from over at NRG. Laremy Tunsil, the bedrock of that Houston Texans offensive line, is being traded reportedly to the Washington Commanders. That's right, Laremy Tunsil, at one time the highest paid left tackle in the league, is no longer a member of the Houston Texans.
The life of Dallas Cowboys star Micah Parsons in the NFC East just got a little bit harder. According to reports on Monday, the Texans and Commanders agreed to terms on a trade that will send Laremy Tunsil to Washington. This major move caught the attention of Cowboys pass rusher Micah Parsons, who didn't hide his feelings about facing the elite tackle twice a year. Following the trade, the normally outspoken Parsons took to social media to voice his displeasure with the deal in one simple acronym: WTF. Parsons posted on X. Is this reaction surprising? Not at all. Tunsil represents a significant obstacle for any pass rusher in the league, and now Parsons will face him twice every season in critical divisional matchups. The Washington Commanders acquired Laremy Tunsil from the Houston Texans in what many consider a blockbuster deal. The trade package is substantial. The Commanders receive five-time Pro Bowl offensive tackle Laremy Tunsil, a 20th, 25th, 4th-round pick. The Texans receive a 20th, 25th, 3rd-round pick, a 20th, 25th, 7th-round pick, a 20th and 26th 2nd-round pick, a 2026 4th-round pick. This deal came as a surprise to many NFL observers. Adam Schefter reported the deal on Monday on X, writing, "Trade. Texans are trading five-time Pro Bowl offensive tackle Laremy Tunsil to the Washington Commanders for a package of picks," sources tell ESPN. Why would the Texans part ways with one of the best tackles in football? It remains unclear what led the Texans to trade Tunsil, who has made each of the last 3 Pro Bowls. This marks the second time he has been traded in his career after Houston gave up 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick to acquire him from Miami in 2019. In Parsons' defense, his reaction is completely understandable. Looking at Tunsil's performance last season, the challenge becomes clear. Tunsil ranked 23rd in the league among 141 offensive tackles in overall grade, with a 76.5 from Pro Football Focus. But where Tunsil truly excels is in pass protection, which directly affects pass rushers like Parsons. Tunsil ranked 4th in the NFL with an 88.6 pass blocking grade last season. He allowed just 2 sacks and 3 hits on C.J. Stroud in the entirety of the 2024 season. Pro Football Focus graded him 23rd among 141 qualified offensive tackles. Although he committed 19 penalties, Tunsil also allowed just 19 pressures on 1,026 snaps. That's elite protection for any quarterback. For a pass rusher like Parsons, who relies on his explosive first step and ability to bend around the edge, facing a technician like Tunsil presents a significant challenge. Now Parsons will have to deal with this obstacle twice a year in crucial divisional games. While the Cowboys love to move Parsons around, it means that he will have 2 not-so-great choices on where to line up. Either he lines up over the right tackle and gets protection slid his way, or he lines up over Tunsil and has a matchup with one of the league's best pass blockers. This trade continues a busy offseason for Washington, who has been making significant moves to improve their roster. The Commanders reached the NFC Championship game last season behind rookie sensation Jaden Daniels. Now they're clearly not satisfied and are pushing to take the next step. The Washington Commanders, fresh off an NFC Championship loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, have been aggressively upgrading their roster. They made several key moves before free agency even began and followed up with a blockbuster trade on the first day. Before acquiring Tunsil, the Commanders cut star DT Jonathan Allen, who agreed to a deal with the Chicago Bears, traded for Deebo Samuel Sr. while giving up a 5th-round pick to the San Francisco 49ers, reportedly agreed to a 3-year deal with defensive tackle Javon Kinlaw worth $45 million, re-signed Zach Ertz to a 1-year deal, brought back linebacker Bobby Wagner. For Washington, the Tunsil acquisition is a game-changer. He will provide elite protection for reigning Offensive Rookie of the Year Jaden Daniels, helping solidify an already strong offensive line. The Commanders are clearly going all in while their young quarterback is on his rookie contract. One of the busiest teams this offseason is looking to make waves in the NFC and get over their NFC championship loss. Adding players like Tunsil and Samuel is exactly how they can bolster their already solid roster. In stark contrast to the Commanders' aggressive approach, the Dallas Cowboys have been relatively quiet this offseason. This disparity hasn't gone unnoticed by Parsons or the Cowboys fan base. The Dallas Cowboys continued their time-honored tradition of doing absolutely nothing to start off the NFL's annual free agent frenzy. The big move they made was bringing back long snapper Trent Sieg, which is about as inconsequential a move as one could make in the early hours, while the Cowboys have locked up defensive tackle Osa Odigizua to a 4-year extension, lost cornerback Jordan Lewis to the Jacksonville Jaguars, brought back long snapper Trent Sieg. They've yet to sign any outside free agents. This conservative approach has left many Cowboys fans frustrated, especially as they watch division rivals make significant improvements. When your division rival aggressively acts to get better while your team sits idly by and takes a conservative approach, it has to be frustrating for a competitive player like Parsons. Parsons did congratulate his departing teammate Jordan Lewis, saying, "Dog! Earned for sure. Congrats, family def. Gonna be missed." The Cowboys now have a bigger hole in their secondary that needs to be addressed, all while their running back and wide receiver rooms remain extremely thin. Dallas's penny smart ways could prove to be dollar foolish as they struggle to compete for championships. Adding to the complexity of the situation is Parsons' ongoing contract negotiations with the Cowboys. The star pass rusher is looking for an extension that reflects his status as one of the NFL's premier defensive players. Micah Parsons has established himself as one of the premier pass rushers in the NFL. He's been dominant to begin his career, earning 4 Pro Bowl and 3 All-Pro selections in just 4 seasons. The Cowboys and Parsons have yet to get a deal done despite his desire to do so this offseason. The pass rusher market has been reset by both Max Crosby and Myles Garrett this offseason, setting a high bar for Parsons' potential contract. Not everyone believes the Cowboys should pay up. Chris Canty, former New York Giants linebacker, stated on First Take, "Yeah, they can pay him, but then how does your team get marketably better from what it was last year?" They got 25 free agents, y'all. If I'm going to pay a guy $40 million a year, he's going to have to be a part of the culture being a good thing, not something that my organization and the rest of my locker room has to overcome. Parsons indirectly responded to these comments on X. "Lowell, I wonder, do people hate my podcast because it's actually good, or do people hate it because it's bad? Because hella people in the NBA and NFL have podcasts, and no one has a problem." The 25-year-old pass rusher is expected to get his own lucrative deal from the Cowboys before the start of next season and officially began negotiations with the team earlier this month. For the Commanders, acquiring Tunsil represents a significant upgrade to their offensive line. Tunsil has been among the best offensive tackles in the league since being selected 13th overall in the 2016 NFL Draft. As one of the premier left tackles in the NFL, Tunsil serves as a savvy acquisition for the Commanders, who are coming off an NFC Championship berth in Daniels' stellar rookie campaign last year.